We all know that feeling. When you're trying to make something happen so desperately, pouring your energy into it, only for it to slip through your fingers like sand. The harder you grip, the more elusive it becomes. It's as if the universe itself conspires against you, not out of malice, but because you're too focused on forcing your will onto the world. Have you ever wondered why that is? In the wisdom of the ancients, there's a teaching that the more we force something to happen, the more we interfere with its natural flow. It's as if, in our desire to control, we disrupt the very process that could bring us what we want. Think about a river for a moment. If you try to force the water to flow against its current, no matter how hard you try, the water will always find its way back to the path of least resistance. You can't hold the river still, nor can you push it in a direction it's not meant to go. The more you try, the more energy you waste, and the more you deny yourself the peace of surrender. This ancient concept aligns perfectly with what many spiritual traditions teach. The Egyptians, in particular, had a deep understanding of this truth. Thoth, the god of wisdom, writing, and magic, held secrets that transcend time. His teachings remind us that when we stop forcing things, we allow them to unfold naturally. And when we let go of our control, we open ourselves up to the divine flow of life. The more we insist on things being a certain way, the further we distance ourselves from the truth. Our world today thrives on achievement, on the belief that effort equals reward. It's almost instinctive, this drive to push harder, to never stop, to conquer every obstacle that comes our way. But what if I told you that this mentality is actually blocking your path? That by trying so hard, you're not moving forward, but spiraling in place, just like the river that refuses to bend? What we miss when we force things is the opportunity for true alignment. The universe has a rhythm, a frequency that's all its own. When we're too busy wrestling with it, we miss the beautiful synchronicity that occurs when we simply flow with it. Picture a dancer caught up in a sequence of moves. If they focus too much on every step, they lose the essence of dance itself. The grace comes from letting go, not from trying to control every movement. The more you attempt to master each beat, the less natural the dance becomes. Consider this. You're at a crossroads, unsure of which direction to take. You've been thinking about it for weeks, weighing every possible option until your mind becomes a tangled mess of overanalysis. This is the moment when you stop, take a deep breath, and surrender the need to control the outcome. What happens? The answer you've been searching for begins to emerge on its own, almost as if it was always there, waiting for you to give up the struggle and just let it reveal itself. This isn't coincidence. It's the natural law of the universe. The problem is, we're conditioned to believe that we must force everything to happen. But what if you didn't have to? What if you didn't need to worry so much about the outcome, and instead trusted that everything you desire is already on its way to you, but only when you stop pushing it away? This brings us to a point of deep paradox. You see, the more you try to control, the more you shut out the possibilities that could flow to you naturally. The more tightly you grip the reins, the less you allow yourself to enjoy the ride. You have to trust in the universe's timing, in its knowledge of what you need and when you need it. When you allow the flow, you enter a space of peace where you no longer feel like you're fighting against the world, but instead moving in harmony with it. In the realm of esotericism, this concept is known as the law of allowing. It's the understanding that you must not force the world to bend to your will, but allow it to unfold as it is meant to. Just as the sun rises and sets without our intervention, so too does the universe deliver what we seek when we let go of our tight hold on it. So how do we stop forcing? First, it starts with the recognition that forcing is futile. It's a practice of awareness. When you feel yourself grasping for control, take a step back. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of losing? In many cases, the fear of losing control stems from an underlying fear of uncertainty, of not knowing what comes next. But in this uncertainty, the greatest possibilities lie. It is only by releasing the need for certainty that we open ourselves to the boundless potential that exists in every moment. Thoth, as a figure of ancient wisdom, understood this deeply. His role as a mediator between the divine and the earthly realm teaches us that true power comes not from forcing outcomes, but from aligning with the natural rhythms of the universe. The more we force, the more we fight against the divine order. The more we surrender, the more we invite the divine to work through us. We become vessels, not controllers. The process of letting go, of relinquishing control, is perhaps one of the most difficult yet rewarding things we can do. It requires trust, a trust in the unseen forces that guide us, and a trust in ourselves. But once we release that need to force, we begin to see a shift. The universe begins to move, not because we've commanded it, but because we've allowed it to. Now, you might be thinking, but doesn't that mean we shouldn't act at all? Shouldn't we always be moving forward? It's true that action is necessary, but it's about the type of action you take. Action, when aligned with flow, is effortless. It's not about pushing against resistance, but rather stepping into a space where the path is already clear. You don't have to force a door open. It will open when the time is right. The moment you stop forcing, reality moves in a way that aligns with your desires. The key here is to stop pushing. Allow yourself to be guided, rather than trying to push the river in the direction you want it to go. When you align with this law, the universe responds, not by giving you everything you want immediately, but by presenting the right opportunities at the right time. And this, in turn, leads to a life of deeper fulfillment, because it is a life lived in harmony, not struggle. In the end, the secret is simple. The moment you stop forcing, reality moves toward you with ease. All it takes is the willingness to let go of the struggle and trust in the flow. Have you ever experienced the feeling of being in perfect harmony with the world? It's a sensation that many of us chase, yet often it feels just out of reach. The more we strive for it, the more elusive it becomes. It's like trying to catch the wind. It slips through your fingers, no matter how hard you try to grasp it. But what if the key to finding that harmony isn't in trying harder? What if it's in simply allowing life to unfold as it should? In the teachings of ancient wisdom, there is a principle known as allowing, a powerful concept that asks us to relax, step back, and let things be as they are. It's not about passivity. It's about a deep, quiet surrender to the flow of life. When you allow, you stop fighting, and in that moment, you stop resisting the very things that are meant to come to you. You release the tension of trying to control everything and embrace the freedom that comes with trust. This principle is closely tied to Thoth's teachings. The Egyptians understood that to align with the divine, one had to surrender to the natural order of things. Thoth, as the god of wisdom, encouraged the practice of releasing the need for control. Through allowing, we open the doors to greater wisdom and deeper understanding. By accepting what is, we create space for what is meant to be. The difference between trying and allowing is subtle yet profound. When you try, you push, you strive, and you fight against the current. It's like swimming upstream, expending all your energy only to get nowhere. But when you allow, you relax your grip. You step into the current, trusting that it will carry you exactly where you need to go. You stop struggling, and in that moment, the world begins to move with you. The principle of allowing is not about being passive or complacent. It's about trusting that everything you need will come to you when the time is right. It's about knowing that your desires are already in motion and that the universe is working to align things for you. You don't have to force your way to success, love, or happiness. They're already on their way to you, but they can only reach you when you stop blocking them with resistance. One of the most powerful aspects of allowing is its ability to dissolve the tension that we carry with us. Think about the times when you felt stressed or anxious. Often, these emotions arise when we're trying to control or change something that's beyond our control. We get so wrapped up in our desires for a specific outcome that we lose sight of the bigger picture. The more we resist, the more we suffer. Allowing, on the other hand, brings peace. It's the freedom to be at ease with whatever happens. When you allow, you stop fighting against life. You stop pushing for things to be a certain way and open yourself up to the beauty of what is. You trust that everything is unfolding perfectly, even when it doesn't look the way you expected. It's easy to forget that life isn't meant to be a constant battle. We often get caught up in the idea that we must struggle and fight to achieve our goals. But this mindset keeps us locked in a cycle of resistance. The more we push, the more we exhaust ourselves, and the further we move from the peace we seek. But when we choose to allow, we let go of the struggle. We make room for ease and flow to enter our lives. The teachings of Thoth remind us that we are not meant to control everything. We are meant to work in harmony with the universe. When we surrender our need to control, we step into alignment with the divine order of things. We become like a vessel, ready to receive what is meant for us. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, will always provide what we need, but only when we allow it to. So, how can we practice allowing in our everyday lives? The first step is to release the need for perfection. Often, we resist the flow of life because we are attached to a specific outcome. We believe that things must happen in a particular way for us to be happy or successful. But life doesn't always unfold according to our plans, and that's okay. When you let go of the need for perfection, you open yourself up to the possibility of something even better than what you had imagined. Another key aspect of allowing is the practice of acceptance. Acceptance doesn't mean that you approve of everything that happens. It simply means that you acknowledge reality as it is. When you accept what is, you stop fighting against it. You stop wishing for things to be different, and instead, you embrace them as they are. This doesn't mean that you passively accept every circumstance without question. It means that you stop resisting what is out of your control and trust that things are unfolding for a reason. Allowing also involves being present in the moment. So much of our stress and anxiety comes from worrying about the future or dwelling on the past. We become so consumed by what might happen or what has already happened that we forget to enjoy the present moment. When we allow, we step into the now. We stop projecting into the future and start living in the moment, where everything we need is already here. Lastly, allowing requires trust. You must trust that the universe knows what's best for you. This is often the hardest part for many of us, especially when we're used to being in control. But trust is the foundation of allowing. When you trust that the universe is guiding you, you release the need to direct your own path. You let go of the anxiety that comes from uncertainty and allow yourself to be carried by the current of life. In practice, allowing is an act of faith. It's a recognition that everything is unfolding as it should, even when it doesn't look the way you expect. And in this faith, you find peace. You let go of the need to manipulate or control every outcome, and you trust that whatever is meant to be will be. The more you practice allowing, the more effortless your life becomes. You no longer need to force anything because you understand that everything is already on its way to you. Thoth's teachings reveal the secret to living in harmony with the universe. When you allow, you tap into a force far greater than your own willpower. You step into the flow of life, where everything is in perfect order, and you surrender to the beauty of divine timing. And in that surrender, you find true power. Power not from control, but from acceptance. In the silence between thoughts, in the stillness between breaths, there exists a secret law, one that has been hidden for centuries, carried in the whispers of the ancients. It is a law that governs not only the physical world, but the very fabric of our inner being. Thoth, the great god of wisdom, writing, and magic, knew this law intimately. He understood that the key to mastery, to true power, lay not in brute force or rigid control, but in the delicate balance between effort and surrender, will, and allowance. It's easy to misunderstand the power of balance. Many of us are taught that to succeed, we must be relentless, always pushing forward, never resting, never yielding. But in the grand scheme of things, this is a distortion of the natural flow of life. To truly master ourselves, to unlock the deepest secrets of the universe, we must understand that balance is not about giving up our will. It is about aligning our will with the greater rhythm of existence. Thoth's hidden law invites us to explore this concept of balance deeply. It is the recognition that everything in the universe operates in harmony, and so too must we. Just as the seasons shift, the tides rise and fall, and the sun rises and sets in perfect time, our own internal world must align with this cosmic order. This law of balance is not a passive state, but an active practice, one that requires both inner strength and the wisdom to know when to yield. Imagine a great tree standing tall against the wind. Its roots are deep in the earth, firm and unshakable, yet its branches bend gracefully with the breeze. It does not resist the wind. It flows with it, knowing that in the bending, it survives, and in its flexibility, it thrives. This is the essence of balance. To be firmly rooted in one's truth, and at the same time, to remain open to the flow of life as it comes. It's the art of not holding on too tightly, but never losing your center. This principle echoes in the teachings of Thoth, who embodied the balance of wisdom and action, thought and manifestation. To him, true power was not in forcing the world to fit his desires, but in finding the sweet spot where his desires and the universe's flow met. He understood that control is an illusion, that the real power lies in allowing the universe to work through you in perfect harmony with your intentions. The law of balance teaches us that life is not about a constant struggle to control our environment or shape our future. It is about attuning ourselves to the frequencies of the universe. It's about listening, not just to the world around us, but to our own inner voice, the quiet whisper that tells us when to act and when to pause. The more we are attuned to this inner rhythm, the more effortlessly we move through life. Balance is not about eliminating effort. It's about ensuring that your effort aligns with the right energy. Effort without alignment is wasted, like pushing a boulder uphill with all your might, only to find it rolling back down again. But when you align your effort with the natural forces, your actions become like a current in the river, carried forward with ease. The law of balance asks you to find that point of alignment where your actions and the universe's flow work together, not against each other. This law also calls us to embrace the paradox of effort and surrender. To the logical mind, this may seem contradictory. How can we simultaneously exert effort and surrender? The answer lies in the understanding that surrender does not mean passivity. Surrender is not about giving up on your desires. It is about releasing your attachment to how those desires manifest. It is about letting go of the need to control the outcome and trusting that the universe will bring you what you need at the right time. Think of a musician playing a piece of music. The musician does not control the melody. The music flows through them. But this doesn't mean the musician is passive. They are actively participating in the creation of the music, aligning their movements with the rhythm of the piece. They are exerting effort, but in a way that is aligned with the flow of the music, not forcing it into a shape that doesn't exist. This is the balance between effort and surrender. It is the dance of life, where we actively engage with the world while remaining open to the mysteries that unfold. In our everyday lives, we often forget this. We get caught in the cycle of effort without alignment. We push and push, thinking that the harder we work, the more we will achieve. But the harder we push, the more we resist the flow of life. We forget that sometimes the most powerful thing we can do is to step back, to pause, to allow things to unfold as they're meant to. When we let go of the need to control, we allow space for creativity, for inspiration, and for the unknown to enter our lives. This is where Thoth's wisdom becomes so profound. He did not teach that effort was unnecessary. On the contrary, he understood that the universe operates in cycles of action and rest, light and dark, movement and stillness. The key is knowing when to act and when to be still, when to exert effort and when to allow. And this is the deep wisdom of balance that Thoth embodied, the ability to sense the right moment and to act in harmony with the universe. This balance also extends to our inner world, our mind, emotions, and spirit. Just as we must align with the rhythms of the outer world, we must also find balance within ourselves. This means acknowledging the tension between our desires and our fears, between our dreams and our doubts. It's about accepting that both are present within us and finding a way to integrate them, rather than forcing one to dominate the other. By practicing inner balance, we become more aligned with our true nature. We stop identifying with the constant tug-of-war between our desires and our fears, between the part of us that wants to push forward and the part that wants to retreat. When we find this balance within, we cease to fight ourselves. We become whole, and in this wholeness, we can begin to align with the flow of the universe. Thoth's hidden law of balance teaches us that true power lies not in control, but in alignment. When we align ourselves with the natural flow of life, when we balance our effort with surrender, our will with the universe's rhythm, we unlock the deepest wisdom and the most profound transformation. This is the hidden law that Thoth taught, and it is the law that, when understood and embodied, leads to a life of peace, harmony, and infinite possibility. At the core of every ancient teaching lies a universal truth. The world is far more interconnected than we can fully understand. This interconnectedness is not merely a spiritual concept. It has scientific grounding. Thoth's teachings, though veiled in mysticism, point towards something profoundly resonant with modern scientific understanding. The principle of allowing, of not forcing, finds its mirror in the world of quantum mechanics and the concept of flow states, both of which offer explanations as to why we often encounter resistance when we try to force our will. When you think about the world at the microscopic level, what do you picture? We tend to imagine a world of solid matter, objects that are static and unchanging. However, quantum mechanics tells us that this is far from the truth. At the subatomic level, particles don't behave in predictable ways. They exist in multiple states at once until observed, and their behavior is influenced not just by physical forces, but by consciousness itself. The more we push or try to control something, the more we disrupt its natural state of being. Quantum mechanics reveals a universe that is fluid, interconnected, and constantly shifting. It's as if the universe itself is made of possibilities, where every action you take has a ripple effect on the surrounding environment. But the more forcefully you try to direct those ripples, the more chaotic they become, like trying to swim against a current. The flow of life can only move smoothly when we stop forcing it. This is the essence of the law of allowing, the recognition that things are always in motion, shifting, and evolving. When we allow, we align with the natural flow of these possibilities. And it is only when we stop trying to control everything that we create space for the universe to reveal its perfect timing. Quantum mechanics also touches on the concept of non-locality, the idea that particles can be connected across vast distances, influencing one another instantaneously. This principle teaches us that everything in the universe is interconnected, not in a linear way, but through invisible threads of energy. So when we force something, we're not only interfering with our own desires, but with the greater flow of the universe as well. We block the natural communication between all things, creating resistance where there should be ease. The concept of flow states, often discussed in the realm of psychology and peak performance, aligns beautifully with this scientific perspective. A flow state is that magical moment when everything seems to fall into place, when time feels like it has stopped, and you are fully immersed in what you are doing. It is the state of effortless effort. In a flow state, you aren't forcing the outcome. You're simply participating in the present moment, allowing your natural abilities to carry you forward. When we stop forcing, we allow ourselves to enter this state of flow. Think of a jazz musician improvising on stage. The notes don't feel forced. They flow naturally from the musician's hands. The more the musician tries to control the melody, the more rigid and mechanical the music becomes. But when they let go, when they enter the flow of the music, they become one with it. The same applies to life. The more we try to force things, the more we disrupt the natural harmony that already exists. But how do we enter this state? The first step is to let go of the need to control. It's about shifting our mindset from one of effortful striving to one of trust and openness. By embracing the flow, we become like the jazz musician, playing not against the rhythm but with it. The less we try to control the melody, the more beautiful and powerful the music becomes. At the heart of this concept lies the idea of resonance. Everything in the universe, from the smallest atom to the largest galaxy, resonates with certain frequencies. When we align with those frequencies, when we stop trying to force a certain outcome, we find ourselves vibrating in harmony with the universe. This is when life feels effortless. We experience synchronicity, serendipity, those magical moments when everything seems to fall into place with little to no effort on our part. For instance, think about a time in your life when you felt like things were happening just right. Maybe it was the perfect opportunity that came at the perfect time, or a connection with someone that felt destined. These moments are the result of aligning with the natural flow of life, not by pushing against it, but by allowing it to guide you. You didn't force that moment to happen. You just allowed it to unfold, and in that space, the universe met you halfway. This is where the science of flow and the wisdom of Thoth converge. Thoth understood that to tap into the hidden laws of the universe, we must first stop fighting against them. He didn't teach that we should do nothing or resign ourselves to fate. Instead, he taught us to align with the rhythms of the universe, to understand when to act and when to allow. He understood that the hidden law of the universe is not one of force, but of balance, a balance that allows us to ride the current of life rather than struggle against it. And when we align with the universe's flow, we step into a state of abundance. We stop pushing against the current of life and start flowing with it. Opportunities arise naturally, ideas come effortlessly, and life begins to feel like a dance, where we move in rhythm with the divine. The quantum field doesn't know resistance. It responds to what you focus on, but it responds best when you stop forcing it. When we're in a state of allowing, we vibrate at a frequency that attracts the right people, circumstances, and opportunities. The more we align with the flow, the more the universe presents us with exactly what we need at the right time. It's as if the universe itself is conspiring to bring us what we desire, but only when we stop forcing it. This state of allowing doesn't mean we become passive. It doesn't mean we stop taking action or pursuing our goals. On the contrary, it means that we move forward with intention, but without the desperate need to control every outcome. We allow things to come to us, knowing that they will, and when they do, we are ready to receive them. When we understand that the universe is always in motion, always shifting, we stop resisting. And in that surrender, we begin to flow with it, in perfect harmony, no longer trying to force our will on the world, but instead allowing the world to guide us to exactly where we need to be. There's a psychological mechanism at play whenever we force things to happen in our lives. It's subtle, but it's powerful. The harder we try to control every outcome, the more we block our natural ability to succeed, to feel joy, and to experience the kind of effortless flow that brings real fulfillment. But why is that? Why, when we exert ourselves so much, does it often feel like we're pushing against a brick wall, struggling without making any real progress? The root of this behavior lies in the conflict between our conscious mind and our subconscious programming. On the surface, We may believe we're in full control of our actions, making rational decisions and pushing forward with determination. But beneath that surface, our subconscious mind is holding on to deeply ingrained patterns and beliefs that can sabotage our efforts. These patterns, often formed in childhood or from past experiences, shape how we perceive the world and how we react to it. When we're forcing something, we're often operating from a place of fear or insecurity. Fear that if we don't control the situation, it will spiral out of our hands, that we'll lose out, or that we're not worthy of the success we desire. This fear triggers a primal response, one that compels us to take over, to micromanage every detail, to grasp at outcomes with a vice-like grip. But what we fail to realize is that this very fear of losing control is what keeps us from actually attaining what we want. The key here is understanding that our subconscious mind isn't just a passive observer. It's an active participant in the creation of our reality. Our subconscious is constantly working to bring us into alignment with the beliefs and patterns we hold. If we believe deep down that we must force everything to work, our subconscious will make sure that reality matches that belief, creating situations where we feel like we have to push and struggle to get anywhere. In other words, when we try to force an outcome, we're not allowing ourselves to operate from a place of true abundance and trust. We're operating from a place of lack, fear that we won't get what we need unless we fight for it. This leads to a cycle of resistance, where the more we struggle, the more we reinforce the belief that life is something to be fought for. And this only leads to frustration, burnout, and disillusionment. Psychologically speaking, forcing is a form of resistance. And where there's resistance, there's a blockage in the flow of energy. This energy could be in the form of creative ideas, opportunities, or even the simple peace of mind we seek in life. But when we force things, we essentially put up walls that prevent the energy from flowing freely. The more we try to control the situation, the more we lock ourselves into a cycle of struggle, missing the very opportunities that are trying to make their way to us. You've probably experienced moments when, after letting go of the need to control, something unexpectedly wonderful happens. A creative breakthrough, a job opportunity, or even a deep sense of peace that emerges when you stop chasing it. This is the universe responding to your shift in energy. When you release the resistance, you open yourself up to the natural flow of life, where things can unfold in their own time, in ways that are often far better than what you could have planned. This psychological resistance isn't just limited to our external circumstances. It shows up in our bodies as well. When we are tense and anxious about a situation, our physical body responds by contracting, creating stress and discomfort. This tension not only makes us feel terrible, but it also blocks the flow of vital energy in our body. The more we fight, the more our bodies tighten, reinforcing the belief that we are at war with the world. This is why allowing, as Thoth's teachings suggest, is so important. Allowing is a psychological shift. It's the release of tension, the letting go of control, and the embracing of what is rather than what we think should be. When we allow, we begin to create space, both mentally and physically, for new opportunities, ideas, and energies to enter our lives. We let go of the old programming that says, I must force, and replace it with the new belief that I can receive with ease. Our mind, body, and spirit are all interconnected. When we stop forcing, we're not just creating space for better outcomes. We're healing the deep-seated fears and insecurities that have kept us stuck in old patterns. This healing process doesn't happen overnight, but it does happen when we start to practice non-resistance. We begin to break free from the cycle of control and force. And in that space, we find joy, not because we've made something happen, but because we've allowed it to unfold naturally. This psychological mechanism is powerful, but it's not insurmountable. It begins with awareness. You have to first notice when you're forcing something, when you're trying to control, push, or manipulate an outcome. The moment you become aware, you can choose a different path. You can choose to pause, take a deep breath, and allow life to show you the way. This simple shift in perspective can have profound effects on your life. It transforms resistance into flow, fear into trust, and struggle into ease. Another key to breaking free from this pattern is learning to trust in the process. This is where Thoth's teachings are so impactful. Thoth's wisdom calls us to embrace the natural order of things, to trust that what is meant for us will come to us without the need for force. He understood that true mastery lies not in controlling the external world, but in mastering our internal state, our thoughts, emotions, and beliefs. When we trust the process, we begin to relax. We release the fear that we must control every moment, and instead, we trust that the universe will guide us in the right direction. The psychological weight of forcing things begins to lift, and we are free to live with more joy, peace, and ease. In the end, the more we force, the more we block ourselves from success and joy. But the more we allow, the more we create the conditions for the universe to deliver exactly what we need, effortlessly, gracefully, and in perfect timing. This is the psychological secret that lies at the heart of Thoth's hidden law. It's not about doing less. It's about releasing the need to control and allowing life to flow. As we journey through life, constantly searching for answers, we often find ourselves caught between two extremes: the need to control every outcome and a yearning to simply relax into the flow of life. It's a delicate balance, one that Thoth's hidden law teaches us to navigate with grace. But in the fast-paced world we live in today, how do we take this ancient wisdom and apply it to our modern lives? How can we use Thoth's law to stop forcing, to release control, and to find true alignment with the flow of the universe? The answer lies not in abandoning effort, but in shifting the way we approach it. It's about learning when to act and when to surrender. It's about becoming conscious of our inner state and noticing when we're slipping into patterns of resistance. The first step in applying Thoth's law is to develop awareness. Awareness of when we're trying to force outcomes, and awareness of when we're in alignment with the flow. This awareness is the key that unlocks the power of the law. So how do we begin? The first practical step is to let go of the obsession with perfection. In our culture, we are taught that success is something to be relentlessly pursued and that every action must lead to a specific outcome. But perfectionism is often a mask for fear and control. We fear that if we don't have everything figured out, we'll fail. But the truth is, life doesn't need to be perfect to be meaningful. When we let go of our need for perfection, we create space for spontaneity, for creativity, and for the unexpected blessings that come from stepping into the unknown. To begin this practice, ask yourself, what would happen if I stopped trying to make everything perfect? What if I allowed myself to mess up, to take risks, and to embrace the process rather than obsessing over the result? This shift in perspective is one of the first steps toward applying Thoth's law. By letting go of perfectionism, we allow the natural flow of life to guide us, instead of trying to control every twist and turn. Next, we need to cultivate trust. Trust in ourselves, trust in the process, and trust in the universe. Thoth's wisdom teaches us that the universe is always working in our favor, even when it doesn't seem like it. When we trust that the universe has our back, we stop fighting it and start moving with it. This doesn't mean that everything will be easy or that challenges won't arise, but it does mean that we trust that every situation, every setback, and every success is part of a greater plan that we can't always see from our limited perspective. To cultivate trust, start by reminding yourself that you don't need to know every step of the journey. You don't need to have everything figured out. Instead, trust that each moment is unfolding in the perfect way for your growth. When you encounter obstacles, remember that they are not signs of failure, but opportunities for growth. Every challenge is a stepping stone on the path to greater alignment with the flow of life. One of the most powerful tools in applying Thoth's law is learning to pause. In our modern world, we're constantly on the go, always thinking about the next thing, always striving for more. But the more we push, the more we block the natural flow of life. By taking a moment to pause and simply be, we allow ourselves to reconnect with the present moment. In this space of stillness, we can hear the quiet guidance of our intuition and allow our actions to be in perfect alignment with the flow of the universe. Pause throughout your day. Take moments of silence, even if it's just for a few seconds. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and tune into your body and mind. Notice how you feel. Are you tense? Are you anxious? Are you holding on to something you don't need to? This practice of pausing helps you reconnect with your inner state and create space for relaxation and flow. The more you practice pausing, the more natural it will become to align with the flow of life, rather than forcing it. Another important step in applying Thoth's law is practicing patience. Patience is not about waiting passively for something to happen, but about trusting that the right things will come to you at the right time. When we force outcomes, we rush things, believing that the faster we achieve something, the more successful we'll be. But life doesn't operate on our timeline, it operates on divine timing. And when we trust in that timing, we find that things unfold with ease and grace. To practice patience, remind yourself that everything has its season. Some things take time to manifest, and that's okay. Instead of constantly checking for signs of progress or stressing over the future, focus on the present moment. Keep moving forward with intention, but don't rush. Trust that the universe will bring you what you need when you are ready. Applying Thoth's law in modern life also means shifting from a mindset of control to one of receptivity. When we try to force something, we shut ourselves off from the flow of life. We close ourselves off from the infinite possibilities that exist beyond our limited perspective. But when we allow, we open ourselves to the abundance of the universe. We become receptive to opportunities, connections, and insights that we may have missed if we were too busy forcing our will. To cultivate receptivity, let go of the idea that you have to have everything figured out. Trust that the answers will come when you need them. Be open to the unexpected and allow life to surprise you. The more receptive you are, the more you'll notice the synchronicities, the signs, and the connections that the universe is always sending your way. Finally, applying Thoth's law in modern life requires us to embrace the art of surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up. It means giving in to the natural flow of life. It means releasing our grip on the outcome and trusting that whatever happens is for our highest good. It's a powerful act of faith and understanding that we don't have to control everything to be in alignment with the universe. To practice surrender, ask yourself, what am I holding on to that I need to release? What am I trying to control that I can let go of? The act of surrendering frees you from the burden of trying to control every aspect of your life. And in doing so, you open yourself to the full potential of the universe. Incorporating these practices into your daily life will not only help you apply Thoth's law, but will also transform your entire experience of the world. The more you let go, the more you allow, the more you trust, and the more you open yourself to the flow of life, the more you'll begin to see the magic unfold. And as you step into this new way of being, you'll find that things come to you not because you've forced them, but because you've allowed them to. Thoth's law is not about doing less. It's about doing more with less effort. It's about aligning your actions with the natural flow of life and trusting that the universe is always working in your favor. When you stop forcing, when you let go of the need to control, you create space for the universe to work through you, guiding you to exactly where you need to be. This is the true power of Thoth's hidden law, the power of allowing, the power of surrender, and the power of trust. As we bring this exploration of Thoth's hidden law to a close, it becomes clear that the wisdom embedded in these teachings is timeless, as relevant today as it was thousands of years ago. In a world where we're constantly told to push harder, to control, and to dominate, the truth lies in the opposite. in the quiet power of surrender and the strength of letting go. The universe does not require us to force or fight our way through life. In fact, when we do so, we block the very flow that would bring us the success, love, and joy we seek. Thoth, through his ancient wisdom, reminds us that true power does not lie in our ability to control everything around us. It lies in our ability to align with the natural rhythms of the universe, to trust in the unfolding process, and to be receptive to the infinite possibilities that surround us. As we move forward in our lives, let's take this wisdom with us, not as a concept to think about, but as a practice to live. To stop forcing isn't to give up, it is to realize that we don't have to fight for what is meant for us. When we stop pushing, the universe moves in our favor. When we stop controlling, we begin to see the divine plan unfold before our eyes. This law of allowing is not something to be learned only through thought. It must be felt, practiced, and lived. So, as you go forward, take a moment today to pause, breathe, and let go of the things you've been trying to force. Trust in the flow of life and allow it to carry you to the places you were always meant to go. Thoth's law isn't just an esoteric teaching. It's a way of life, a state of being that, once embraced, opens the door to boundless freedom and endless possibilities. If you followed this journey, you're already feeling the shift within. Now, let's solidify it with purpose. Leave a comment below with the phrase, "I am aligned with the flow." Let that be your declaration, your commitment to embracing ease, trust, and the wisdom of allowing. This is your moment to step into harmony with the universe.